It's not a let's begin our session now. Give our brain together. This is it. Let's pray together. Actually, today's topic would be very short if you want to give me some time to explain about it. It's about Motoric, and some of them I think is already implicitly, sorry, implicitly explained or taught when we talk about affordance. Because hopefully you still remember that in the concept of affordance, basically we try to match between the properties of the object and the capability of the agent. This capability basically is directly related to the motoric system. What we can do as an agent, as a human being to the environment. So we talk about humans motoric. Last week we talked about the human's input or perception and the cognition, how we process as a human, especially our brain, how it processes information and compare it with the previous knowledge. So the cognition part, cognition, memory, learning, those things, especially with respect to the user interface. So that was last week. And today we would like to talk about human motoric, but I think I can talk about this topic while giving you feedback on your final project. So let's just start with your progress report, okay? So we can have more interactive session contextually based on the problem you face right now, and let's talk together and let's try to discuss about the resolution, how to solve those particular problems. The goals of these two meetings should be you with your teammate really understand about your about the human's capability. So with respect to the input that the humans should receive, the perception, the way we process those information in terms of cognition and also the memory, and then later we need to make sure that in the use case of your domain, I believe that it's going to be different from one to another. What kind of action the users can do, particularly for your problem domain. I believe that it's going to be different from one team to another. Okay, so let's see. So can we start with? Can we start with Yusuf? So I haven't joined the Zoom yet. Okay, so we'll wait. We'll wait. Okay. You're supposed to be with Mikhail, right? Yeah. Mikhail and this kid. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about the Gojek settlement. You may join the Zoom meeting as always, its.id/IMK. Yes.
Should I turn on my mic as well?
I think we can use this. Oh, you can just leave the audio. Sorry, forget to mention.
Should we start from the beginning as well?
Yes, to give the full context for all the audios.
Yeah, so our project is actually about the camera that can guide. It is advertised to get the specifically for the budget driver or online object driver. It's called Navicap. I'll just show you some cosmetic data. So it's a helmet that assists the user motorcycling experience. And this product allows the user to access the GPS voice call so using their voices alone with the help of the visual achievement. For convenience, the helmet turns on automatically when worn, and it is also equipped with an AI that can assist the user in navigating, answering simple questions about the traffic. And the helmet also has a 360 camera that can see around the user.
Okay, let's stop there for a moment. Let's discuss about the context or the content of this paragraph. Okay. First question. What is the urgency making the helmet automatically on when the users wear it?
So that the
What is the
user
benefit? Yes, what is the benefit?
so that it can make the user seamless to improve the user seamless experience so that instead of pressing the button or maybe using voice command
Then
we use
I understand. And now this is a bit more about the user experience design. Do you think that everybody will think the same as you? Like expecting every time he wears or she wears the helmet, he or she would like to have that helmet is automatically done.
I think it should be some kind of welcome or something that we find someone so that the user know that it has been turned on when we wear the
Well, but in the first time, the question is does the user really need the helmet will turn on automatically at the first time? Because if we later the answer will be we need to validate these answers. We need to ask the user specifically. This is now we are in the world of the UX design. So if in the world of HCI here actually I just allow you to use your imagination to provide the any possible solutions. But I will still need, I think it's a good idea to give you some warning, several guidance so that you also need to kind of be aware of this. So when you put this into a production, this is the next step of the human computer interaction, which is the UX design. You also need to consider about the response or the satisfaction as well from the user. At least here in this discussion, I imagine that when I wear this helmet, I would like to have a choice whether I would like to turn this on or not. So the automatic on should be
option.
Yeah, should be an option. Still, in my opinion, because this is me as a user, I will be kind of very frustrated. I'm frustrated if whenever I wear the helmet, is on, it will drain my battery. That's the one of the first consideration. The second one, I just want to wear this helmet now without any necessity to turn on my apps.
That makes sense.
Okay, that's the my first comment. So you may need to also brainstorm with your team whether the feature is still there or not, will be there or not. And then about the 360 camera. What is the benefit having 360 camera on this helmet?
Yes. So that's the basically how the AR direction works. So you have to have the images, the visual, so that you can use the AR to visualize it, and also for the collision detection.
Why don't you just track the front view? What is the urgency capturing the side view as well as the rear view of the driver?
Yeah, I think the reason is because there is also the collision detection.
Mhm.
So the detection can also work on left side, right side, or even the rear side.
Okay.
Yeah, so like instead of having two camera that can see the front and also the 360 camera, we just use only one camera. It has capability to see the front, so we only need one device, one camera for the AR and also collision detection.
Well. Okay. Action. Have you thought about the scenario when any collision happens from the side views, and then what your system will do to respond that, and also like based on the. Oh, so you have that case in the.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, let's continue then.
Okay, so this is just the image. There should be a button to increase or decrease volume.
Makes sense.
If the user wanted to, they can also use their voice. Also button to answer or end the call, and they can also use their voice for it.
Oh, wait, can you pause just a bit here? No. Okay, I think this is great. So we can tell the difference using our finger, right? Even though we do not, we are unable to see the button. So, but we can tell that this is minus, this is plus, and this is for the call figure.
Yeah, the symbol is protruded. I think that's the correct one. Is it? So it's like pop out. So then when we
Yeah.
use it,
And it should have a like a very distinct boundary, and it will be better if. Oh, so there is some extrude on the icon also.
yeah, the icon, it's like pop out.
Great.
That's what it-
Yeah,
the user can
that's
do.
it. Or I think it will be better still to give more gaps between the plus and the call buttons. So the plus minus can be in a proximity close to each other, but the tone is a bit, you give extra gap between
The plus minus and also the
yeah. The plus minus can be in one group, so it's in proximity, and then the calls will be a bit farther away from the plus.
We also think about like since there's only one button, just accept info. Is it better to have another button to reject call, or this only one?
Good one. Okay, good one.
In this case, it's just for answering and also and for here's the button for reject.
I see. It's annoying, right? If
Yeah, you can
a phone's ringing and we just do not want to receive the call. But with those four buttons, it's gonna be very complex in the design. You know, three I think is already bare maximum. How is about putting that reject action in the minus together with the mouse? So minus is also rejecting the call.
But I think
Or actually,
Maybe-
how is about just having that minus and plus? So when the call is there's an incoming call, that minus and plus is at the moment is for accepting and rejecting.
so only two buttons.
Yes, it is.
I don't think that's gonna work because when the user, if they
You're going to increase the volume while there is a call.
so
Oh.
can be. Now what I think is
No,
that
no. You can still increase and decrease the volume, but during the call, right?
Yeah.
Not when accepting or rejecting the call.
But what about when you want to end the call?
You want to end the call. Okay.
no, what I think is that we have so helmet has two sides, right, left and right. So
No. It's dangerous. You cannot leave that side. Right side is for controlling the gas. Yes.
Maybe if you want to reject the call, press it once, and then if you want to accept the reject twice for first person.
Good one. Accepting the call is just instead just one press, quick press is accepting, but if you want to reject, long press.
Like here for this, yes.
Is that like that?
Yeah.
Is it does it look the way? Yeah, that's okay. Then we got a good some previous experience from the previous popular device.
And also, we thought that there is also another method. Nodding our head is to accept the call or just say like this.
Too risky.
To which
Not your name. I don't think that is a good idea because you got a speed bump, too many too many things on the road that will trigger unexpected nodding and several of those gestures. So through the buttons, I think is already good, a good one. Nodding. Well, yeah. Okay. When it's ringing, okay. When it's ringing. Okay. Hold on. Yes. Yeah. It's I think it is worth to try to do some research. It's a micro interactional research with respect to that specific gestures. We may see, but you can put that in here. So as a multimodal is good. Multimodal is good. So in addition to the buttons, you give the users an opportunity to use the nodding gesture or what is that? This one? Nodding and shaking and shaking. Horizontal shaking. Yes, as a alternative trigger for the call reception and call rejection. By the way, you may need to just specify, like I think a good number for the threshold is 3, just to avoid accidental logging, just like from the speed plum accidental. So I think 3 times or two or two. I think two is already good enough, right? Speed plum, just one. Yeah. Two, twice.
So, yeah. In a situation where the it's not really smooth enough.
Yes, but I assume that it's only just one. Oh, it's not really, it's like very shaky. Okay. Yes, very possible. But the likely,
It's very rare.
yes, very rare. Yeah, still okay. Still okay. Multimodality, I support that. You can do that.
Should already put that into the goals.
Oh, great. Awesome. Great. Awesome. Nice.
So we have adjusted our GDS reset. So bottom right, it's the mini indicator for the direction. So it's like when there's an intersection, so it's gonna be like this, and when it's sharp, right? So in this example, it's actually when there's a join road. So there's a road joining from the uh, northwest, I think. Yeah, northwest. Northwest, so it's look like this.
Great.
So we use the Google Map arrow indicator, so it should be the same. So the user would not feel they already know if they use GPS, so it's gonna make them easier.
What is the time indicator is just telling the time. Okay. I thought that it's like the ETA.
Should we put immediately? I don't think we need it. I think we can put that into the driver conversation when we wanted to know.
Yes, I agree. And with the same reasoning, I think you can just remove that time. I don't think time is like the important information in this situation. If you really need it, you can just ask the assistant to tell what time is it now. Right?
What about the batteries?
Battery, the same. Yes, very good. But I think it's still okay if you have that. Because I think having two information in the same corner is not. It's really consuming the space, and it gives the user extra cognition in the cognition. We talk about cognition load, so it's not really good. Just give some information that you believe, and actually the best way to conclude whether this item is necessary or not, we need to do some interview. So this is again about the UX design, but you can just put it here now, assuming that you are like a HCI expert, so you can decide something for your users in this case. However, if you insist you really want to put this time indicator on the display, I suggest you to pick other color, or just put in on the top, or on the top of color that is contrast to that text color, shape color that is contrast to it. Okay.
Is there a material that how we determine the contrast rate? Which
You can Google contrast value calculator. You can get some website that can be very useful. Okay. By the way, I would like to mention this. In your previous page, when we talk about the paragraph about the way we expect the user will use the left hand to press that button, doing short press or long press, etc. That is motoric. And Yusuf said that why don't we just put the but it's on the right side. It's also motoric issue. And I answered that it's impossible for that this current situation, even though it's a possible if you are in the a stationary mode, right? But when the condition of you are in driving mode, you're riding the motorcycle, your motoric is impossible or not. It's very difficult to make that action. So this course is basically part of the examples of the human's motoric. So way to talk about today. And then in this particular, in the next page, in this particular image, we talk about perception actually. So this one, perception and also cognition. I mentioned about when you put too much information on the display, it will give the users a burden, and I think it's also not good because having too much things to think, it will, as a result, the user will not think. That's not good. All right, my question is now, with respect to this scenario and those visualization on the top right, if we turn left, is the visualization will move? Does the visualization will the visualization move to the left side if we turn left? Or are we just gonna keep it on the top right? Same.
It is still same on the top because it is for the indicator. But there is also like the AR indicator for the two navigations.
Okay. Last week I asked you, gave you some consideration actually. Why don't you put the directions, that visualization at the center of your display?
Oh yeah. Actually, we tried to make it in the center of all, but I think and we think that that would be blocking the view.
Okay, very good reasoning. So it will block the view, and in fact, that's very dangerous, right? Especially if that center of the view is. When we talk about human vision, actually, it's a different with the vision that we get from monitor display. In a monitor display, you can see that the pixel is sharp. Every pixel is sharp, so it's all over the place. Is a very, how to say that? I forgot the term for this. But for our eyes, try to check your eyes now, your vision. The only sharp imagery is just in the center, right? What is on the side is kind of blurry. So that's like because the way our retina, and not the retina. Is that the retina? So we have a receptor for the black and white, right? The grayscale receptor in our eyes. So if you learn about biology, so there's like the tube receptors, like for the grayscale, and then we have the cone receptor for the RGB, for the color. And those receptors are a lot in the center, but not at the side. You can check on the biology how your eyes work, the receptors, and then this, like the number of the nerves with respect to that. And I agree now. If we have this augmentation on our display, it should not block. Like this is like really the important important part of the vision. However, I may still suggest you that if you have a turning left a situation, the indicator should be also on the left. It's good for mapping. From those six. So Don Norman's in his book, The Design of Everyday Thing, he introduced us to affordance, signifier, feedback, and I mentioned about mapping actually in the beginning of our course, but I didn't give you some So much or so many examples. Today we have a very good example here. If you have a turn left indicator on the top right, in a glance, for some users, they may think that that's for turning right. If you put it on the top right, because in a glance, it's like a subconscious thinking. They will think that something that is appears on the right is something and that's something to do with spatial. It's about spatial mapping, something to do with turning right, even though that the indicator is actually for turning right. So in my suggestion with respect to this particular concept of mapping, you just need to separate it. It's a turning right, put it on right, turning left, turning left. And actually, you also need to remember when we navigate using Google Maps, there is a turning right, turning left, and then there's something in between, like a changing, keep right at the fork, or just changing the fork. When you drive using motorcycle, there's a moment that's not turning. The Google Maps does not ask you to turn, but it's just to change the lane. In that situation, you may also put the indicator, but it's not really on the far right corner, but just a bit at the center to indicate that you just need to switch the lane, but to the right. Give it a check on the Google Map. There's some like a spectrum in the navigation, turning right, to the left, changing lane, etc.
Isn't it not left? It's only right and left because I think if it's changing, the one is on the upper.
Very good point. So it's like
Uh,
cognitive. It will give a cognitive. I agree. Well, good reasoning. So you may also consider that if the case is changing lane, then it's just gonna be auditory. So there's this really specific. Well, you can do that with that reasoning, with that consideration. Well, okay. So we are going to the third. You may continue.
Okay, so our next one is actually about the icon AI when AI talking. So, and I just thought about it, but I think making the person icon is not really good for AI. So it's actually for good for when you are calling the caller is the one that speak up is actually the icon is person. So because the person the one that's talking to us is the person.
Yes.
For the AI, not really. We don't have. We have yet to talk about icon. A good icon for speak.
You can learn from Siri, from Alexa, from Google Home. The representation is very simple. Just a wave of your sound. That's it. I think all of the personal assistant is in the form of wave. Yes. Siri, and then Alexa, Google Home, or I'm sorry, Google Assistant, and then what else? Xiaomi, Xiaoai, also like that. It's like, and it's in many type of results. Basically, it's like a visualizer, something like that. You know that it is not human, but it's a living assistant. Screen warning indicator, very good.
I think the actually will be especially at the top right, and the warning indicator, and also the calling will be dynamically depending on the
I think instead of making dynamically, you can just put it a bit on the bottom center. How is about that? It's not really disturbing, so it's still noticeable. Okay. Speed warning, call notification, you can put it on the. So we want to make sure that the real estate in the top center and the as well as in the middle center, it should be clear. So the real estate for the physical footage. Okay, very good. Need icon when user speak. Okay.
Now it's not about it, but I think we should have two icons. For the first one is when the device can hear us, so it's gonna be full color like this.
You may give it a try to by talking with your Google Assistant or Siri. There's a difference between when the AI lets you speak and listening to your voice, and then when they give you answers. The visualization is different, very distinguishable. The microphone, I think, is like sort of legit, and then I think this is gonna be like what very when they want to hear when they are hearing you, when your personal assistant is hearing you or listening up to your voice, it's like a in a way well very stable. And then when it starts speaking, it will shake. The weight will shake. So that's a bit different. When it give it it already finish giving its response, then it will move to the like very kind of a stable wave, some calming wave.
It's just the battery backup. 75% to 100 is green. Yellow is for 50 to 75. But to 50 is getting low. And it's
Good, very good.
yellow. It's just the growth and implementation of the AR.
Awesome.
The blue indicator indicates the method used to navigate.
And
The arrow can
more
change.
commentary about this signifier. If I think it would be a good idea if you can provide the same color for the visualization of the for the direction, just like on the top right, and the arrow that you draw augmented on the surface. Make it in the same color, or maybe just make it white if you like do not want to bother what color should I be, because white is like a more like universal color with some animation. I think what white is still a destination on the screen with some animation.
The arrow can change its shape to the point wherever the destination is placed the GPS. Just this is the indicator for
Left collision. Oh, so this is the reason why you need. Well. Now, suppose that the driver perceive this warning. What should they do as a follow-up action?
wait. Clear on the color.
All right. Because let's talk about because actually we just need to concern about the circumstance this user may face compared to the regular driver. I don't think regular driver has uh, such that kind of sense, like really knowing what is on the side and the back or the rear view. I don't think normal users can do that, right? And that's why I still argue that this is not necessary. I'm afraid that it's like it's gonna be more like a contract. So you give this play and then it's like turning too much, and it's not necessary because in my opinion, if there is some problem with the there's a possible collision on the left, that's not that driver responsibility. But it's like it's purely the drivers on the back mistakes, right? Do you agree?
But I think like if there is the case like there is a driver on the back, then there is the indicator. I think like the rider can use to go faster so that it can avoid collision.
Why is it necessary to go faster?
Because it's a collision in the back. So to to avoid it is just to go faster.
And I'm afraid that it will give the user extra panic, especially if the condition is a traffic jam and you get something on the front already. You are in the traffic jam, the warning like wah, 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 wah. Okay. It's like you give really give multiple multitude cognition to the user. So I think, in my opinion, I may still argue that it's not necessary to have that 360. Just focus on the front view, and it's not also not necessary to put it on the top because it's gonna be hard to synchronize your vision here with the ones that the user see. So I think it would be better if you can have like just really close to the forehead with that setting. How do you think? That's my argument.
Now again, I think this is a feature, so the user can choose the option whether to turn it on or off because and then the color it changes depending on the possibility the collision will occur. So like when there's a high chance that the collision will happen, that the color will turn red. But when it's kind of like there's a possibility, but it's not high, so it's gonna be yellow. So it's going more.
Understood. But still, our concern if the situation is when the driver is in the traffic jam, that's really a disaster for me.
Oh yeah, so about the traffic jam, since the AI have the capability uh, to know whether there is a jam or not. So
And also, I think you can just check by the speed. If the user is not working, it is the
Okay, now the next question would be, is it technologically feasible? Processing those 360-degree view into finally give the drivers insight whether they should take some particular decision takes some time and it requires a lot of resources to compute. 360, you need to
yeah, so because we also use we have researched about what you asked us about the LLM localizing
large language model.
So I think we can use it, but it's gonna be cheaper and also it's gonna be faster because the domain is specifically traffic.
Do you plan to put it in the machine locally, or you still need to have an internet connection for communicating with that?
Well, we think Express is actually using an internet connection, but now that I think about it, it's not gonna be really good because, especially when the user is stranded. Uh,
Please do remember that the internet connection is a must for your case, because you have to provide some navigation, right?
yeah.
So you need to contact the directions API from the Google Maps, for example. But I think it's not the you need to like specify these features should be covered by the chip on your helmet or by the phones accompanying the helmet.
What I think about it is for the collision, I think it's gonna be built in the chip, the module.
Oh, okay. So you assume that, okay?
So it's gonna be faster to process what the camera sees.
Awesome. Okay.
And for
Possible.
the traffic, it's gonna be online because I think, especially with the collision, they can interact with each other when there is a traffic. It's not gonna be, it's not gonna be as sensitive as when the road is.
Okay.
But
I may say that your proposal is too futuristic. It means that you will need to wait a quite some time, maybe up to 10 years later, then you can have such features with that chip embedded in the helmet. That's a matter of choice, by the way. But I think it would be better if we can, because we don't know 5 or 10 years later the Gojek is still there or not. Let's assume that we really want to help the Gojek as soon as possible. So I think we need to consider the scenario that for one, for for some features that require high computational resources, throw it at the accompanying apps on the phones, and then the phones will connect just like the Apple Watch or other smartwatch. So the phone will connect with the device via Bluetooth. Two, consequently, you should not expect that the features that you will provide on the helmet and as well as on the HUD is something that are really in a real time. If you have such features, I recommend you to remove that. That's too risky. For example, navigation is still okay. If you have for example, 1 or 2 seconds delay, it's still okay. But for like collision warning, it's just really real time. Otherwise, it's useless, right? Now the discussion is more like about the technological feasibility, but still, it is important for you to consider.
yeah, I think just that we get it. Yeah.
I really appreciate the way you achieve this progress. So please continue and provide more details.
This is just for the operation.
Oh, we haven't yet stepped. We are still in the middle of the progress, right? Okay, continue.
So this safety vehicle haven't changed yet, so it was from yellow. Orange.
So I think you can forget about this if the only purpose is for the warning. But maybe those spectrum of color you can use that for some other purpose. Not quite sure. Maybe for example for that direction. If it's really already close to the turning point, then it should be reddish, for example.
And also like in MotoGP game, like
Yeah, you can also
yeah,
take some
it's
inspiration from
red
it.
if the driver is very fast.
Okay, good. You can bring that idea to your from MotoGP. Okay, it's been a while. I didn't watch MotoGP.
Yeah, for them.
Okay.
It's yeah. So
Please tell me more about your goals. Just one of them. Just pick one.
Okay.
We need to spare the time with the team.
Okay. So this is for navigating to client location. There's two methods. The first one is using voice, and second one
Cool.
is using phone. But basically, the first thing when
Very
the
good. Very good.
it's become when the driver accept the client, the Gojek. So the Gojek app receive the client, and then there is two method. But basically, the Gojek app first notify the driver about the client location, notify the rider helmet about the client location, and then oh, should mention that this is the voice method. So and then the user confirm they can choose to confirm or decline the order when they saying confirm the order, and then the AI proceed to configure the app according to the destination. And then the second one is when the phone receives the notification from the Gojek app, the rider confirm it through the Gojek app, and then the phone proceeds to send the location for the yeah. That is this for the answer coming from and uh, conversation related to driving. And that's it for
Okay, good.
presentation. Thank you very much. So gesture with voice.
Thank you, Yusuf and Rizky. Now,
Should I stop soon?
yes, please. Now, can we move to the next person? Arya?
Okay, so this is our simple prototype for the app that we propose, the Home Hub app. So this to rewind things a bit, it is an app where you could control the environment, your smart home and the devices such as lamps, AC, TV, and so on. And we have made this with the type right here. It's the pages that we've made and this is the home page. Yeah, there is this the connected the connected device, and then there is the rooms. And this plus button here, we were planning it to what is it? It's to add more rooms.
Okay.
And we made some doodles. So I have seen a video on YouTube where on iPhone or Apple devices such as iPad, they could use the AR scanning for their room. And
Yes.
it's yeah, but with I am actually confused in how do you like make like the pages is how do you know the page is a camera page in Figma? Because the page would be just the camera, right?
Yeah, that's why not everything we can do on Figma. Figma is just for to the GUI for the configuration.
Yeah, but how would you what it prepare this for just to make it clear for presentation?
I also do not know how to do that. Usually if the case is Figma cannot handle that, cannot help you with that, then you need to create manually. I mean, create like a video demonstration. So you render this Figma file and then as necessary, and then when it's a time for you to explain about that AR or the scene when you will need to include the camera, etc. Then you do not use the Figma. You will render using Premiere or using After Effects, etc. You build your own. Or maybe there is some Figma for camera. I don't know. You need to find some. But uh, if you can persuade me, try to understand the situation through the drawings good enough, then you're good to go with this. It's okay. As long as it's understandable.
And other than that, because like not every devices have the AR scanning capabilities, we made it so that you could upload your graph, their room, so that you could add
The full brand.
yes, so that you could add your desired room.
Yeah. So if you think that it's hard for you or even it's possible for you to present your idea using Figma, then I think you need to manually draw it using any editor. Just like this helmet team. So it's impossible for them to utilize Figma to give a clear picture about how the helmet works. That's why they try to use their own means, providing if they need a picture, then they just draw a picture themselves. We just put in the document. It's not necessary for you to have this prototyping as your deliverables. You can just make a static, and as long as your document later, your final report is easy to understand and people can comprehend your idea. That's good.
Yeah, so
Okay, so you got this floor plan.
it's the floor plan and
Great.
the devices in a particular room. And then it's all the same before do each room. And we also have the devices here. There's all the device in all of the rooms, so it's not filtered. You just want to see the devices and not the
Instead of having that bracket representing where is the location, in which room it is located, how is about you just make that capsule, put the items name on the left and the rooms on the right, and make it less noticeable. I think the most important information is the items name, the device name.
So maybe it's television here and then like room
Yes,
here, but
yes.
with this font color.
Sure,
This
sure.
is a bit darker than
Sure, we can do that. So it's easier for us to scan the device and scan the room. Because if you mix this,
it's a bit unprofessional.
simply say no, not professional. Simply say it gives extra cognition. By the way, so in a glance, it's like you give the the room information as important as the device. In fact, the users need the device name more than the room's information.
And we were also going to meet like as more settings here, like individual settings. So
Personal settings.
um so maybe like an air conditioner, there will be like temperatures or on and off and so on. Yeah, probably like a profile settings. There's communication, privacy. But we haven't like.
I think you can you can skip that this part is okay because this is not it's like about like a general features in area.
Yeah.
And just skip this. Focus more on the product domain that you want to say. So which is about the digital time.
Yes. So maybe we can also show you the video. AR study.
Sure. Sure. Give it a go.
Oh, jadi ini bentuk
So research the figure that we found, so we know that it is and it's technical. So they started importing the art and then wanted it. And when the scanning is done, we will I have to
Like Home 3D. Okay, so that's the name of application. I know one application that may do the same thing, Polycam, if you know that. Polycam. But I'm not quite sure in its free version they can make it. So I haven't yet tried. But yeah, this I don't I believe that this is possible. Then you can merge this scenario on your user experience. You can do that. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll join. Alright. So we haven't really done anything after the proposal. And I haven't been to class since then. So I guess it's still most about what to change about the first proposal. What to show from the just what kind of if you want to make doodles like this as in the same group, what kind of website was used? What did they use for
Figma.
Figma?
It's not necessary actually if you do not want to you do not use that. Figma, Figma.
Yeah, so from what I heard from the Ninja, we had to change something. We had to change stuff from our proposal and especially the AR stuff. Yeah, we don't really have a real doodle from the AR, but
Mhm. Melihat ekstensi kayak 40 jadi nggak Is it only for VIP user?
The AI?
Yes, this feature.
Yeah, for the initiated user.
For
The initiated user.
the initiated.
Yeah, is that what you mean? Or
Is that for like I imagine that if we are live streamer, we will be very busy with our live session. So we have no time to have an interactive session with the customer. But in here you say that after the chair appeared on its surrounding, the user, the buyer, I assume, still be able to talk with the seller about the product.
yeah.
The live streamer, the seller of this product, is already busy with promoting the stuff. So how can the seller talk with the buyer?
Because in this system, there is one initiated user asking for the live stream. And he is able to talk with the seller about the product that is getting reviewed. So the live stream isn't 24/7 on a product, it's only on of a specific product when asked for it.
I see.
But I guess for the AR
Makes
really to
sense.
work, the company needs to have it scanned, I would say. And initiated user or buyer needs to have his camera open for it to show on his surroundings. That was, yeah. So in this case, the initiated user could still talk with the seller about the product, but he might not see exactly what the live stream outputs, but he sees the product in his own environment. So instead of having this just has to mimic the live stream.
Or maybe it should not be called as live streaming. Why is that? Because this is the buyer initiating the session. When we talk about live streaming, it seems like it's more like a broadcasting some information, and it's from the perspective of the buyer.
Yeah.
I want to share this information for all buyers, all the audience. But in here, the initiator is the buyer. So we need to change the term so it's not ambiguous.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Interactive call, interactive session, interactive. Yeah, interactive. I think interactive call. One of good suggestions. Maybe you may find some other terms.
Yeah.
What else? This is quite interesting. I think it works. Yeah, you can continue this.
Okay.
Try to make sure. And did you attend the meeting session when we talk about GOM? GOM?
No, I haven't been here for the latest.
Okay, then you can actually it's not necessary for you to watch the session recording. You can just directly watch the video in the Udacity that makes courses and check on the task analysis, I think, that chapter.
No, I have it open.
Yeah. It's not only applied to you and your team. I also require Arya and the team to check that because in your in your presentation, you only talk about the prototype. You should equip this with the analysis of the task, the goal, just like what the first team presented. That is to like giving you a detailed picture or detailed situation of how the users will do expecting from your application later. Okay. The GRM is very important.
Outside of GOMS, is there
Yes.
something I missed? What has to be in a proposal, or has to be in a report from previous
Yes.
weeks?
Yeah. Basically, what should be in your final report later is everything that we talk in our course. So you maybe I'm just gonna you in short it should covers the whole chapter in the meeting sessions topics. So
Okay,
the ones that you say that it doesn't appear on your in your Midas presentation, but I think this is just the same with the ones that I put it in Midas classroom.
yeah, you put it in the title of the.
Yes, so that's the things that you need to cover.
Okay.
You can just consider that as your section title or in your report. So every single one of this.
Yeah, okay, so after this it was mental model representation.
Yes, feedback cycle, direct manipulation, physical interfaces. Not the holiday, just the mental model, for example, and representation. So all these things, please include that in your final report.
Okay.
This one, if you need the English, the English is here. Okay?
Yeah,
No, the discussion is not just. I think.
yeah, it's from accordance.
Yeah, it's same from here. Orders, feedback cycle, plus analysis. Okay.
Okay.
Well, if you do not have any more question, so we can call it a day. Thank you very much for having me today. And here, actually, you also need to analyze the humans, also part of the section title in here. The sensoric mean the perception, the memoric means the cognition, as also the learning phase in the brain, and then the motoric is the action. So those things should be covered in the report. Like I think, for example, when you do interactive interactive session with the buyer, what action is possible, what action that is impossible, you need to be aware of that. It's very part of the motor and etc. And with respect to the cognitive, what things that we need to put on the interface, what thing that is not necessary that you can skip it. Better to not display on the UI, etc. So you need to consider that.
For the load.
Yeah, cognitive loads.
And for the midterm, I was wondering, is it every point on the density? Is it from 1.1 till?
Not all of them. For example, I do not cover the ethics, the human use of this one. Distributed cognition,
We're there now, or maybe.
some part of this. I remember that. No, not really. Maybe you can skip that. It's also still okay. Our primary, yeah, it's just based on, or maybe then it's necessary to check the sessions recording if you were unable to attend the meeting that time. But don't worry, I will make the quiz, the midterm should be basically based on our discussion. So, yeah, as long as you follow the discussion during the session, you don't have any problems with the quiz. I believe so.
There is no hard material for the midterm.
The books actually.
Maksudnya ada banyak kan? Which one?
You can check in here actually for some especially for this one. So I already specify, I'm sorry, this is in Bahasa. I already specify each session with some reference. So you can check this. So it's a utama 2, then it means that you need to check on here on the page, on the chapter number 1. So that's where's the topic comes from.
And materials until
I think the end until the end of this, because it's gonna be in the week 15, right? Our quiz. But don't worry about I will not like really extract all the details on the book. This just the ones that I believe that you have heard that already. As long as you pay attention to during the session, you will have no problem with the test. Thank you very much.
How did it work with Kahoot? Because you also get
Yes,
points
Kahoot.
if you are fast, right?
Yes.
Does that also matter, or like how does it?
Yes, it will matter. It will matter. It will matter because I kind of I will use a 50-50 formula. So accuracy and efficiency. Accuracy means so the portion of the correct answers. And then the efficiency means like your performance compared to the fastest one in the class. So that fastest one will get 100 and your performance yes, the fastest one will get 100 in this efficiency criteria.
As long as you're fast.
No, it should be fast and correct. If it's fastest but wrong, then it doesn't count. Yeah, you need to be correct first. That's the most important one. Thank you very much for having me today. Good afternoon.